So in your first position, I can see that you've retreated. I can see that you've been really, really looking at what's going on, really looking at sort of like you're not so, and I feel like a lot of you have grown from that. Instead of like reacting first, you've grown from that. I see you like backing off and looking at situations and really, really balancing it and really seeing it, because we were in Libra, really seeing it and then really taking note. And that's kind of where October brings you. This is your present position, is that you're sort of like just looking at things. How is this going to work? What do I want next? What's going on? This person did this, or this is how my life was, and now it's this. That's kind of what I'm seeing in your love area. Now, what's crossing you is the Knight of Swords. That's a beautiful night. I love that night, because that night comes with offerings from nowhere. And we're talking about this 8th house of transformation, right? Now, where has your love been? That'll give you a clue as to where this is at, because I see it for everyone. So it could be that you get an offering of love. It could be that romantic love. It could be that you already have an offering of romantic love and now it's your money, or now it's your business, or now it's your contracts, or now it's your family. Like, where is that for you? But whatever this is, Spirit, this is Spirit's advice in this situation. And they're saying, when you get this, remember your position. Remember to take a step back, think about it. And it's not a right or wrong. It's just whichever way you want to go with it. Okay. You've grown a lot from that point. And so now you're in a space where you can take this offering and say, okay, this is what I want to do with it. I know it sounds like a good offering, but let me go back and see, and let me make sure that this is what I want to do. Like, just take a minute when it comes. And this one, you'll know because it comes from nowhere. This one comes fast and from nowhere. Like, you thought something was going to go one way, but all of a sudden somebody comes over here and it says, oh no, I want to do this with you, or I want to give this to you, or, you know, whatever this is, right? Could be in your romance, because I see that too, where some of you have been working so hard and you finally cleared your life and you're like, I've been waiting and nothing's happening because the people that are here are not really like what I want, and this is never going to happen, and, you know, all that self-talk that you give yourself, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in and they're like, hello. So that's what I see. Now, what you moved from, my Aries. So you've been dealing with the past. You've been dealing with a past person, or even some of you, this is you, where you were really looking at your past and trying to figure out what you're wanting. But for this in October, you've come through this where you were dealing with somebody from the past. And then some of you stayed with them. Some of you did not. I see that too. So whatever this was, you made your decision and then you've come through here. And so for some of you though, this decision, this person that you've been dealing with, you hadn't made a decision yet. And so right now you're looking, and it isn't until you get this that you actually make a decision. Okay. So just wait for this. You don't have to wait, but just keep doing what you do, Aries. And this is going to come and it's going to make it all clear for you, because for some of you, you move through it, but for others of you, I see that you kind of move through it, but you're like, I haven't made my full decision yet. That's an Aries. I haven't made my full decision yet. So I'm going to put energy in there, but you know, I'm still kind of looking like to see what this is. Right. So in your 4th position, this is the beginning of the first 2 weeks, or the first half of the month. You have the Fool. I mean, wow. What great card to have at the beginning of October when Jupiter moves into this house where you are at 0 point energy. So you're going to be dealing wherever your love is, where you're going to understand that you can go anywhere from here. Right? You're going to have the energy, you're going to have the drive, and you're going to have the clarity to be able to do this and take this energy. And with the Fool, they're saying, Spirit's saying, we're backing you up. You tell us where you want to go, and we're going to make the way for you. We're going to help you. We're going to keep you clear. We're going to give you that energy. We're going to give you that drive, and we're going to give you that knowledge to do that. Right? So congratulations. Some of you, it does mean starting over with this person, but I don't feel like it's like, oh, I got to start over with this person. I feel like, okay, we're really going to start over. He's done some things, or she's done some things, and I've done some things, and we're both in the wrong and we're both in the right. And so, you know, we're both finally balanced and on the table, and everything's on the table. And I see that this is a good beginning for some of you. Okay. I don't see that it's like, it's not an ace, but it's a 0. So it's like up to you. What do you want to do with this? Okay. So in your 5th position from your higher self, I always ask your higher self, what is the one message they want to bring through to help you move forward in love? And you have the 5 of Wands. So listen, Aries, as much as you can tell people how to do things and what to do, and you're very clear about it, the thing is that you get into this place where you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, right? And so you would rather just them do whatever and hurt your feelings instead of you actually saying what you really, really want to say, right? And so they're saying there's going to be some things that come up in the month of October, and they want you to stand your ground. They want you to, in all that chaos, you're going to be very clear, because some of you have some things you got to clear. And so they're saying, stand your ground. Stand your ground. There's a way to say things that you don't have to hurt people's feelings. But trust me, if you tell them what you're really feeling, because sometimes it's just a misunderstanding, but if you tell them what you're really feeling, like, yes, it's not your way, but this is my way of doing things. When you say that, they may say, oh, I didn't even realize that. I didn't even realize that I was treating you that way. I didn't even realize that you took it that way. Like, that's why it's important for you to stand your ground. It's important for you to fight for what you want. And I mean really what you want, not what you think they want you to want, not what you like, not trying to be a chameleon and doing things their way, right? Because let me tell you, when you're dating, that's a different thing. You can say and do whatever. Like, you have no problem saying, no, I don't want this, and yes, I do want. But when you're in a relationship, you don't want to hurt people's feelings, so you'll often be quiet. You won't say anything. And they're saying, no, stand your ground and say this. And you're going to be clear with the stuff. So you're going to be able to have the knowing and the clarity of saying what it is that you need to say. And for some of you, I feel like it's whoever this was, or whatever this thing that's coming is going to cause you to like go back to that habit of not saying what you want, but you got to say what you want, okay? Because you're doing it in a different way, Aries. You're doing it a very different way. Now, at the end of the month, look who you have. This person has been showing up and showing up and showing up in the dailies. So towards the end of the month, the last 2 weeks, you have the King of Coins or the King of Pentacles. And this person is extremely stable, beautiful, very charismatic, hardworking, gets what he wants or gets what she wants. Because the king to me doesn't necessarily mean that they're male or female. The king to me means that they're that sign. It means they're a Capricorn, a Virgo, or a Taurus, right? And I see a lot of Cappies with you guys. But, you know, it kind of makes sense when I'm looking at Aries and Cappies, because a lot of Aries and Cappies are going to meet or have already met. And Cappies this year, they don't know this yet because I haven't said it, but this year is when their love's coming in. Not everybody, but a lot of Cappies that have been single and working. So that makes sense. So at the end of this 2 weeks, you have the possibility of meeting this person. You'll know them because they are sort of that, I don't know how to say it, because they're charismatic. Like, they can run a room if they want, but they're not the Leo, like, coming in and busting in and saying hello, right? They're sort of like, you're just drawn to them because they have this sort of special something. That's how you'll know this person. I do see beautiful smiles, so that's one characteristic. But I see that when you talk to them, they're very stable, and you sort of get that understanding that they've come through a lot and they've worked a lot, and, you know, they're ready. They're ready for a relationship, or they're ready for a new business partner, or they're ready for a family, or they're ready. Like, whoever this is, they're ready. It's none of this, well, I used to, you know, I like this guy, but he hasn't responded. That's not who this guy is, or this girl. Or, you know, I gave them, you know, my number, but, or we started dating, but then they went ghost on me. That's not who this is. This person has no problem telling you how they feel and what they want. That's who this person is, okay? So congratulations. Now, I will say for others of you, if you're sort of, because I'm seeing some financial stuff going on for you guys, if you're sort of in that space of your focus has been in finance, I feel like you were taking a look at your budget. I feel like you were doing all of that. I feel like you had to, like, deal with past debts. And then I feel like you're finally, you're free at the very beginning. And then I feel like with this offer, I feel by the end of the month, things are going to start coming in for you. You're the king of coins. You're that very solid, stable, things are flowing in. Money's flowing in. Business is flowing in. I feel that too. Okay. So in your 7th position, this is your fear. So what's going on, my Aries? Your fear is being able to balance some of you, all that you have started. I feel that, okay? And then I feel like for some of you, you want this partner, and then when this partner comes in, you're like, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm going to mess it up. I don't know if he's going to mess it up or she's going to mess it up. Like, I feel like you're afraid that you can't do it all. Now remember, that's just a fear. A fear is there to remind you of what you want and what you don't want. You know what you don't want, so focus on what you want. Stay in what you want, and then those things will come to you, okay? Now, again, this is very important because I've got this in your 5th, where your higher self is saying, and then I've got this in your 8th, okay? So, for some of you, in your 8th house, this is the way a person will be viewing you or dealing with you. Now they're going to take their stand. They're ready to take action. So whatever this is, if it's in love, they're going to take a stand for what they believe in. And that's why your higher self is saying, no, you need to take a stand in what you believe in as well. Right? For others of you, they're dealing with you in that sort of combative, that's not even a word, combative way. So they're going to be dealing with you in sort of that combative way, that like, but you know what? Some of you Aries have these relationships where you banter back and forth. And so I see it that way. But others of you are like, I've let them do and I've let them do and I've let them do. This is if you have a relationship already. I've let them be and I've let them do, and they're taking advantage. And I haven't said anything. And so you sort of push back a little bit. And they're like, they're not used to that. So they're going to take their stand in whatever they're saying about this. All right. So I hope that makes sense. But that's how they'll be dealing with you. Some of them are going to be shocked because you're actually saying what you wanted. And I feel like some of you have a misunderstanding. Like, I feel like you finally say what you really, really needed to say. And then they're like, it's a misunderstanding because they're like, I didn't even realize I was doing that. I'm so sorry. Or I didn't realize you took it that way. I'm so sorry. Like, that's what I feel like. So it's really important, because this is the important message. It's really important for you to make sense out of that chaos, to really say what you want. Okay. So in your 9th position, this is your hopes and dreams, but for me, this is the outer realm of what's coming in. This is sort of the energy that's coming in. You have the Knight of Cups, so you have another offering coming in, and kind of depends on what you're doing and how soon that energy comes in the month of October. But I feel like by the end of the month, what's coming and it's on its way with this and this and this, what I feel like is that you get the offer that you're wanting. I feel like that. And for some of you, it's that romance. For others of you, it's the child that you're wanting. For others of you, it's the marriage. For others of you, it's the business. For others of you, it's the contract. For others of you, it's the fame. Whatever this is. For others of you, it's the money. Whatever this is, it looks like it's coming in. You're on the path for it to come in. And it's an offer that you really, really have been wanting and that finally comes through. Okay? Remember, the 8th house is of transformation. So whatever you've been working on in this last year, this is going to be transforming into manifestation, because Jupiter is manifestation. Okay. Now, in your 10th position, this is the overall outcome of what you'll be working through, as I just said this, of what you'll be working through in the month of October. But I feel like this is more than just October. I feel like this is going throughout the whole year. You have the Empress. I love the Empress, because the Empress is a couple of things to me. It means in this card deck, those things that you have rooted and nourished and made your way and said, This is what I'm building and this is what I'm doing. Those things are coming through for you. But in another way, I feel like with this house of transformation and this being in your ascending house that I'm looking at, I feel like you're getting these gifts and these surprises that you have no idea of. Like, you think it's one thing, you're like, I've worked and I better get it, and I know I've never failed at anything and I'm going to do it, right? And then when it comes, it's even brighter and more beautiful than you ever thought. And that's what you'll be working through in the month of October.